We've made up our minds. We're going to do new. Do something else. Do more. Do the impossible. Do better. Do good. Do big. Do small. Do it wrong. Do it again. Do it ourselves. Do it together. Do what no one else has done. Do what will become big. Do the same. Do different. Do everything. Do something. Do new. We've made up.
Good afternoon and welcome to a webinar from Linköping University. Today, we're going to talk about a brand new program, an MSc in Aging and Social Change, which will start autumn 2022. We're already there. I'm here with a new program coordinator, Indra, who you can introduce yourself in a second. She's going to tell us about the program, why we've decided to offer this program, and also share the curriculum. But before we get there, I just want to go over a few housekeeping things. Please ask questions in the questions section, not in the chat. In the chat, you can say hello to each other, say where you're from, but put your questions in the questions section, which is where we will answer the questions. We're going to have our chat for about 20 minutes, and we'll answer your questions at the end. This webinar is also being recorded. And if you're watching the recording, you can still ask questions in the questions section, and those questions will be sent to us. I think that's all that I need to go through, that you need to know, the practicals. So let's get to the interesting part. Indra, please tell us about yourself.
Yes, thank you. I'm excited to be here and participate in this webinar. So we are launching a new program, and I'm a program coordinator. I'm also a postdoctoral researcher, so I'm a teaching researcher, if you want. And I'm working at Linköping University on campus Norrköping at the division Aging and Social Change, which has the name, same name as the program. Yes.
Thank you. Which brings us to the program. You did that very smoothly there. The program, Aging and Social Change. Why did we decide to start this program? Why are we offering it?
Well, basically, we are a research environment, research division. So that's our primarily task, but we also collaborate with many different organizations, international organizations, for example, various social partners and stakeholders. So we constantly hear that there is a need for people who would understand the aging and social change, and who would understand the dimension of the policy. So there's a basically lack of people who would be able to use and apply this kind of knowledge in their working places. And that comes both to, for example, as recruiting PhD students, but as well as I mentioned in various international organizations and the policy organizations.
Because we are seeing in aging population, aren't we? In mainly, is it global or is it mainly in the West?
Yeah, so aging is one of the most prominent global trends currently, and the aging populations, as it's often seen as something Western, but actually it is a global trend, and it entails both the challenges and possibilities. So what we're gonna provide with this program is the knowledge of how to understand these challenges and possibilities, and how to make a social impact. So this is also a knowledge that is very urgent and needed at this time.
Okay. I think we should have a look at the curriculum and how the structure of the program to kind of see how you what courses you offer to teach the students these skills that they need.
Yes.
So it's a 2-year program generally, but it can be done in 1 year as well. I just want to kind of do that first.
Yes. So I would start with a little bit more graphic view of the program. And you see here 4 semesters. So these blue squares indicate the on-campus weeks. What this program is unique about is its hybrid teaching model. So we will have students, students would choose to either involve on-campus program and come to Norrköping, or they will involve in the online program. And then we will have those students meeting together in hybrid lectures, seminars, workshops, and study groups. So this education will provide possibility for students online and on campus to learn from each other. It will also allow us to involve a variety of teachers who are experts in their field in an easier way, right? So this program is more accessible for both students, and it's easier to get expertise from the teachers. So we will have also on-campus weeks, which means that online students who chose online program are also coming to Norrköping. And that will happen in the very beginning of the program. You can see on semester 1 in the very beginning is the blue rectangular. There we will introduce the program and start forming the group, and we have basically almost a week of intensive learning. Then in the middle of the semester 1, we will meet again, and parts of examinations are also placed during these on-campus weeks. So it is both for educational reasons, but also for being able to meet with your colleagues like physically in place and learn from each other and take part in a social life in Norrköping. In semester 2, we will also have these 2 on-campus weeks, the one in the middle, one in the end. And here, if students want, they have a chance to finish a program after 1 year. But the whole program is a 2-year program.
And you need to have done 2 years to move on to a PhD, don't you?
Yes, so basically it depends on what are the aims of the students who are involved. We are open also for people who have already work experience and they need some more like basic knowledge about research and policies in the field of aging and social change. So it might be also an attractive option, though we would encourage students to stay on for the whole program because of possibilities to specialize later on. Another thesis, so semester 3 is the specialization semester, and I will present it a little bit more on it shortly. And the last semester is the thesis semester, so the full program ends with the full thesis. And here we will meet with students in the beginning of the semester, meet supervisors, present their ideas, and then in the end we will have a defense.
This is
So-
very timely as well with
Yeah.
currently with a lot of people moving on to hybrid meetings and discussing how we're going to be, you know, physically in one place but people joining us online. So I think this program also tackles a new change in society.
Yes, so technology is indeed changing and it affects our lives, social lives. But I think Corona pandemic was one of these triggers that really encouraged us to go on with this hybrid mode. We've been using hybrid meetings and teaching before during this 1.5 years at Linköping University, so it is not a new experience for us. And we thought it works, and we thought we can have a broader outreach and increase access to the program. So I would, sorry.
Sorry, I said it sounds good. Sorry.
Yeah. So I wanted to go a little bit more in depth on the different semesters that we have. So just to give an idea of what we are going to teach in in the program. So we will start in semester 1, we'll start with this basic phase, and we have 4 courses here. Every semester is 30 credit points. So we'll start with the introduction and go into research and social policy topics, as well as we will deal with the methods course. The second semester will go deeper into the topics on social structure and inequalities, and go again into social policy and talk about foundations of the aging policies. Now you have this little asterisk that next to the first and second courses. It means that the students who are taking the shorter track, the 1-year track, they are taking only the first 2 courses, and the rest of the semester they do the thesis work. So they're also missing out on the future perspectives of aging, as well as the training in policy consulting. So that is another important skill in order to make a social impact and affect the policy agenda. Yes, then we have a semester 3, which is the specialization phase, as I was mentioning. And here you can have different options. You can go the whole semester abroad, and we even have partner programs in Europe who we are having now Erasmus agreements, so there are possibilities to choose these programs, but it's open, you can go anywhere. You can take an internship in aging and social change. That could be in Sweden, can be internationally, in 15 points, and that should be combined with an elective course, with a course in the program or the course outside the program. And then finally, you can have the whole semester made up of courses within the program, or choose any course you want at the Linköping University. So this is a very flexible semester, and it's really aimed at to accommodate everyone's needs. Yeah. And the final phase, as I was mentioning, is the
Sorry, can we
thesis.
go back one? Sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
So these ones, the studies abroad, you mentioned partner programs in Europe. Where are those?
Yeah, so currently we're making, or we have already made and making Erasmus agreements with programs in Germany and Ireland. We also have contact with the university in Israel. So these are also our research partners. So we've been having a intensive exchange both in terms of research, and now we will involve those partners in teaching.
Excellent. And what about internship? Does the university provide internship places, or do the students need to find their own?
Students need to find their own internship, and they can choose unlimited number of internships. So that's why I think it's a good thing with university not providing some limited number of choices. But it is responsibility of the student, and it takes a half of semester, which is around 9-10 weeks.
But there has to be, it has to be a suitable internship. So it definitely, within aging and social change, it can't be just anything.
Yes, that's why it's called internship in aging and social change. And we will have individual discussions with the students about the places they've been choosing. So this internship place needs to be approved by the course coordinator.
Great. Thank you. Sorry. Please.
Thanks for asking these questions. I've been working with this development of the program for quite some time. So I guess for me, many things are already known.
Yes.
Yeah. So this last semester is the final thesis semester, and it's the big thesis. So it's the whole semester, 30 credits thesis. We will have supervisors available and certain seminars, the thesis colloquia, where students will present their ideas. So on the way writing their thesis, they will have a support feedback from teachers and also other students, the colleague students. So it is a double kind of a support. Have international seminars in aging research, so students will have possibility to take part in them too.
That
Yes.
sounds good. Yes, this sounds like a really good foundation to stand on if you do want to go on to do a PhD.
Yes, absolutely. That is one of the career paths that one could choose. But as I said, the program has also quite strong policy focus. So, for instance, both public and private sector um, like careers are possible. So we can talk about municipalities, we can talk about international organizations, and even the big corporations who have, you know, big HR sections and their own internal policies, for instance, on aging. So policy is something that is a bit broader understanding. It's not only about politics, you know. Various
Yes, yeah.
organizations has policies. Yes.
Okay, yeah. So it is not just, you know, one track. It is quite a broad choice that you know the graduates can choose from in terms
Yes.
of career options. Um,
Yes.
yeah, I'd like to talk a bit more about the students, the background. What kind of students are you looking for? What's the academic background required, but also what's the kind of skills or mindset of the students? What are you looking for? Who's
Mhm.
this program for?
So this program is for everyone who is interested in aging and social change and who wants to make a social impact. Um, we don't we did not specify the background, but we have a requirement for a course with the 5 points in social sciences. So a person has an understanding what social sciences are about and how societies function and so on, as well as a 5 points course in quantitative methods, so that because we will it, like the research methods we're gonna teach are also um, very much like quantitative and data related. So it's important to understand statistics and how to handle data, um, statistical data. So
So
these are
basically,
the two requirements.
you
Yeah.
could be an engineer graduate, engineering student, an engineer
Yes.
who has done 5 points in social science and 5 points in statistics, and that would be a suitable background.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So it is a very open, so to say, the who
Mm.
could or would like to attend this program.
But is it, you know, I also see the English requirement, which if you're doing a test, for example, IELTS 6.5 or TOEFL 90 on the online test.
Mm.
But I think this is because, you know, this is a very important point because everything is in English. But is there also a strong emphasis on writing skills? I mean, is there a lot of reports that
Mm.
students need to write?
Mm. Yes, so the program is international and it will be given in English. So we will have, as I mentioned, for example, lectures, seminars, workshops. Students will have to, we have different kinds of tasks. So we would like to see that the person can present their knowledge, for example, in orally, or they can write a report, they could write a policy brief. So there is a variety of ways to examine the knowledge, and we're gonna use many, like we're gonna use them. So the English, the writing skills, the oral skills in English has to be strong. Yeah.
Mm. So yeah, you need to strong skills and also kind of being open to the fact that, you know, they need to write a lot. So kind of enjoying that in a sense. Um, I would
Yes,
say,
that's
because if you hate writing, you know, it would be difficult.
yes, that's
Yes,
true.
that's true.
Uh, yeah.
Yes. Thank you. What about the letter of intent that's mentioned? It's not mandatory, but you
Mm,
encourage applicants to submit one, what should they write in a letter of intent?
Mm. Well, we would like to know why the students are interested in this program. How do they think that this knowledge would contribute to their lives, their careers, and uh, how they could contribute to the program, like what kind of motivation they have for the program. Because we would like to really have a group of people who are interested in aging issues and who are interested in making the social impact, addressing the sustainability of societies and well-being of aging populations. So I think it also makes it easier to study the program if you have this, genuine interest in it. So we would like to hear about it. Yeah.
So yeah, it's not, it's not a challenge, but it's a way of actually thinking through, why do you want to do this and what do you bring to the table?
Yes.
I think it's great, but you don't need to submit a CV, right?
And no, as far as I know that
Yeah.
it's not required. No.
No, it's not required. No. Thank you. I'd like to talk. I mean, obviously, this is just you and I today. Usually, when we have these webinars, we have a student as well. But for obvious reasons, that's impossible today.
I have not started yet. Yes.
Yes, but I thought you could maybe tell us, because you're a former PhD student. Maybe you could let us know a bit about, what is it like to come to Linköping University? You're in Norrköping, which is a twin city of Linköping. There's 40 kilometers between them. But what is it like?
Well, I came to Sweden to study PhD 10 years ago, so that I've been living in Norrköping for 10 years. And I think that was what I really liked first was that university itself is in the old industrial area. So that was really impressive to me.
The
Uh,
beautiful campus
yeah,
that we can see behind
yes,
you on the screen. Yeah.
yes, exactly. You can see one of the main buildings just behind me. Yeah. It's also very central. So you can have all the like students' life accessible. Um, it's not a big town or shopping. It depends from where you come from. But there are many restaurants and pubs, and you can go to cinema, and so these activities are available, and it's easy to reach them because yeah, this the campus is central, and the town is not very big. Um, Also, it's easy to reach Linköping because there's even a campus bus that students can use for free. So that's also a possibility. Um, what else? I'm coming from Lithuania, so the climate is very similar to Swedish one.
Yes. So
But
you're kind of used to it.
yes, but I guess like now we've been having sunny weather today, about 5 degrees, which I think
Yeah.
is quite good for this time of the year. But there will be
I think
snow and so.
Yes, I
Yeah.
think what we should mention, we spoke before we started the webinar about how people perceive Sweden as being cold,
Yeah.
and I mean, yes, it is. It's not on the equator, but what we do have is it's warm inside. So even if it's -10 outside, -15 outside, which happens, is not that common where we are in the kind of southeast of Sweden, but you're warm inside. You wear your t-shirt and you walk around, barefoot, and everything is kind of built for this climate. So when it's 10 degrees outside, it's not 10 degrees inside. It's still 20
Exactly.
inside.
Yeah, and
Um,
the warmth, I think we should also talk about the stereotype that Swedish people are usually painted as very cold and not social, which I think was not really true because I received a lot of help, and my colleagues were always, they were asking how I was doing, if everything was okay. I could ask any question I wanted, and so on. So that is also a stereotype.
Yeah, I'm glad that has been your experience. And I think the way you've kind of done the program and with because I assume there'll be group work, plenty of group work, which I
Yeah.
think is a hallmark of Swedish education. But with the group work, you create a bond between people. So you will get to know people in closer and quicker because you're working closely together.
Yes, exactly. So we would like to form a group. We want this program to be not just education as in I come and do my courses, but we would like people to share the knowledge, learn from each other, but also have a social aspect of being together in a program.
Yeah, because I think you learn better in that sense, and I think what I've heard from other students is this, a focus on in a way student-led learning in a way where you share information and you in the seminars, not teach each other, but you kind of do by sharing your own knowledge.
Exactly. And one more thing that I wanted to mention is about the staff or my colleagues who will be teaching in this program. They're also very international. So we have people coming from different countries, and we will involve also teachers from outside Linköping University. So this will be a group of teachers who have experience in teaching at different levels and different countries and coming from different cultures. So this
I
will be
think
a very nice mix of
Yeah, I think that would sounds really good because I think aging and the way we view aging is different in different cultures, and getting that mix into it, I think sounds really promising.
yeah.
Yeah. You've also been a teacher on other programs that we offer, and I was just wondering before we open up to questions from everybody who's with us, are there any kind of common challenges that students have had that you can give tips on? Well, actually, you can avoid this or any other feedback that you've had from students.
Well, I want to say that this program is a full-time program. So we expect students to basically put 40 hours a week on their education. Um, so managing work and education might be a big challenge. So that's
Mm,
something is good to know. We will have for instance, the ordinary weekend looked at, we have a lecture in the beginning of the week, and we have a workshop or a seminar sometimes in the second half of the week. But then in between, we will have self-studying and group work. So you will have to do some preparations, you will have to do some readings, you will have to prepare a presentation or write a short report and so on. So there will
mm.
be the workload is is a full time. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that
No,
is
well,
good to know.
I think
Yeah.
that's good to know. And I think it is also challenging to find a part-time job in Sweden when you don't speak Swedish. So I think it's good that you mentioned that because that is a struggle that we have noticed that students who take on too much extra work outside of university, they can struggle
Mm.
because it is, you come here, there is a lot of reading, there is a lot of writing, and if English is not your first language, you have the extra challenge at the beginning, before you get used to it.
Mm.
So I think that's a really really good point. But ask for help. I think that's important. There are not just the program coordinator, there's your teachers, there's also study counselors. Ask them for help. Make use of the facilities on offer.
Mm. Yeah, so I think that's what I mentioned before about Swedish colleagues being really ready to help and also even asking if everything is okay, if you need any help. So I think Swedish university system has a really well developed support for students. So yeah, asking for help is one thing, but it's also there is help available.
Mm. Good. I'm glad we got to finish on that note, because we've talked for a bit longer than I expected. So I think we should open up to questions. But before we do that, um, I just wanted to say a few things because we are going to stop. Well, we're going to stop the recording shortly. So the recording, which will be on our YouTube channel, will be of this first half. The question section is only for those who are joining us live. So to learn more about Linköping University, have a look at our social media. Have a look at our Instagram account, for example, which is run by students a week at a time. So you can also kind of go back in time and see student experiences. We have a blog, student-led blog, International Program Students at LIU. I know we could have chosen a shorter one, but we didn't. So have a look at that one. That again, that's our students writing about their life, their experiences. They have lots of tips on the application process, housing, finding housing, finding secondhand shops when you do get here, study tips. So loads. So I really recommend reading the blog. Podcasts is another thing. We have student-led podcasts, and they tell you so much about what it's been like and what they've learned and yeah, lots of tips and hints on life in Sweden. Also, the quickest way to get a reply from the university is to reply to an email that you've already had from us. So if you had a newsletter or something similar, hit reply to that. But you can also put your questions in the questions section here, because those questions will be forwarded to us later on. So yeah, I think that's it for those who are watching the recording. Thank you very much for having joined us. And now for questions.
Okay, that is a cue for me. Hello. I will read out the questions. We already received several from different people, as we have people from all over the world I see joining. Great to see. First question from Hamid. He likes to know if with a bachelor degree in education and social studies, if he could apply for the master. And also, is there any job placement after completion of the program?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Well, as I mentioned, we have requirement for only 2 courses. So education, bachelor in education sounds really good. But you need to have 5 credit points from a social science course, as well as a quantitative methodology or statistics. So these are the requirements.
So the quantitative methodology, is that something that students who have done a thesis, for example, in another program, in a previous bachelor or master's, is that usually included in a lot of programs? Or is it something that somebody will have had to actively seek out?
Well, this basic quantitative course and methods and understanding of statistics is very often included in bachelor programs. It is not advanced methods we are asking for.
So it's usually the course that a lot of students take in order to do their bachelor thesis.
Yes, for example, there can be programs. I mean, even if you have thesis with a qualitative study, it's very often that bachelor programs include training in statistics, so you have an understanding how to read numbers and understand the reports and so on.
Thank you.
The placement, sorry. So there is no job placements after one finishes the master studies. It is up to a student to find the jobs in the labor market. But what we do, we provide the knowledge and skills that are actually needed for the current labor market.
And you do get to stay in Sweden for up to a year to try and find a job. So it's worth mentioning your student visa allows you to stay on to look for a job. Thanks.
Okay, great. Thank you for those answers. I hope, Hamid, that answered your question. Otherwise, let us know. Next question from Rassi, asking, is this program suitable for an MD? How much will be my chance to find a PhD position after graduation?
I'm not sure if I'm familiar with the term MD.
I think it's medical doctor.
Okay. Yes, medical doctor background is also okay for the program. As I already mentioned, as long as a student has credits for these 2 courses, social sciences and quantitative methods. to find a PhD, we've been actually hearing from our colleagues, and we've been employing PhD students, so that it's not very easy to find PhD students who have a specific education in the area of aging and social change. So there is a need of PhD students having this degree. Yeah,
That's good news for students taking this program.
Great. Yes, indeed. Thanks for that. Next question from Shiala, asking about the option of scholarships, especially for African students. If you can say something about that. And additionally, if the English proficiency is the must-have for this enrollment.
I can answer that one.
Yeah.
Yes, scholarships, Linköping University, we do have LIU international scholarships. They are tuition fee waivers. So they usually cover half of the tuition fee. But if you're from Zambia, you could also apply for the Swedish Institute scholarship, which I think their deadline is in February or so. But Google Swedish Institute scholarship. And that's a full tuition and cost of living scholarship. So it's a really good one. And then the English proficiency, yes, it's a must. It's 6.5 IELTS or 90 in the TOEFL. Did you want to add anything, Idra, on this question?
No, it's, yeah, you answered it.
Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you. Then that is taken care of. Great. I will drop the link of the Swedish Institute scholarship because I saw some more people wondering about that. So just bear with me a minute. We go to the next question. Claudia from the US is asking concerning the courses and specifically the ones about policies. Does the syllabus material offer a worldwide perspective? Because the cultural context of aging is very important, she points out.
Yes, I totally agree, Claudia. So we are focusing on the Scandinavian and European perspective because we think that it is a very like a very good case to look at, because Europe and especially Scandinavia has been experiencing aging for quite a long time now. So different policies have been also developed around it. But we, of course, will include, when we talk about research and policies, we will include examples from all over the world. But we will, so we don't promise to have the same comparative amount of time where we put for like different parts of the world. But we will have the global context, of course. I think that's not really possible to do without. But our focus is the Scandinavian and European.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope that answered your question, Claudia, and give it a good idea of the perspective as indicated. Great. Pranesh is asking, what are the research-based courses available at the university?
I'm not sure if you meant the program or the whole university, but I just will start with the program. So we will have research courses in the first 3 semesters. There are different kinds of courses. For example, we'll have introduction, talking more about historical perspectives of and how the research in aging and social change has been developing. We will also talk how the research in aging and social change is related to policy, so policy-oriented research on aging. We will be having research methods. We'll talk social structure, inequality and exclusion, and even the future perspectives. In semester 3, we have courses available as elective courses, so you can choose a course. I'm sorry, the light just went off. So you can choose the course to have a more intensive research course where you actually can follow one of the existing research projects and you get a supervisor, a person who is working in one of those research projects. So that's something what you can also do if you're more interested in research. And we have a variety of projects available at Aging and Social Change Division, but we also have other partners at other divisions at university, so you can choose different projects. Now, when it comes to research courses at the whole university at LiU, it's a very broad choice one could have. So starting from politics, economy, demography, medical.
I think he was,
anything.
or she was looking
So-
for program specific
Yeah.
courses. That
Yeah,
was
so-
there was yeah.
Yeah. But as I said, everyone could choose any courses on semester free provided by university. So you can choose something outside the program as well.
Mhm. Thanks.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. I hope that answered the question. Otherwise, let us know. We still have some minutes left, so any of you still have questions, this is your moment to ask these. At this stage, I don't see any further questions. Let
I
me
have a
check.
question. Yeah, I actually have a
Okay.
question. Yes, a question that we get. People tend to sometimes ask, engineering students, can I switch major, for example? But for this one, I'm just wondering, because it's this hybrid, can you start online and then change your mind and decide that you want to come here and study?
No, that's something that is also related to visa questions, for example. So a student has to choose from the beginning if one wants to come to Sweden or one wants to study online program. Basically, I think it's more administrational reason and requirement for visa and residence permits and so on. That's why we cannot change so easily during the program.
Yes, I could add that if you choose the online version of the program, you won't be able to get a residence permit in Sweden.
Yes.
You will only get that if you plan on coming here and staying here. That's the same case for all our distance programs, that you can only get a visa if you're actually coming here. But I'm glad you clarified that. Also, that there are tuition fees for students from outside of the European Union. And I should just add quickly that is 16,000 euros for the 2 years, or 8,000 euros per year. And as I said, we do have scholarships. They are tuition fee waivers, and to be eligible to apply for a scholarship, you need to have chosen this program as your number one in the selection process. When you apply before 17th of January. You do that online on universityadmissions.se. And you can choose up to 4 programs at 4 different universities or the same university in Sweden. So you then have to rank those programs. And if you're admitted to your first choice, for example, 2, 3, and 4 are deleted. So it is important how you rank the programs. But most universities, us included, ask you to rank the program that you want to apply for a scholarship for as your number one priority. So you do that by 17th of January. You have to submit your documentation by 1st of February. Again, these deadlines are also really important if you want to apply for a scholarship, because your application has to be in on time. You'll then be notified if you're admitted or not at the end of March, and early April, there's a window of a few days when you can apply for a scholarship from Linköping University. And all that will be announced, and you'll have emails about it and so on. So you need to be admitted, apply on time, having ranked the program as the number one. But those are important points to remember.
Good. Thank you very much for those important points, Therese. That's very good to know. So I dropped already a couple of links. I will still provide you with the link, that Therese mentioned earlier on the Instagram as well, as there is a lot of updates coming, and you can see from students who are actually in this program, but also from others at Linkoping, so you can have a good idea how it is. So I'll share that in a minute. I don't see further questions. Yes, there is a question. Actually, I don't know if we answered it, but just to make sure, Chiala is asking, how's the application procedure? Do you get the enrollment and then apply for scholarships, or do you apply for scholarships and then enrollment? I think you answered it, but
Yeah.
just to make
But
sure.
just to make it clear, you apply for, you get the enrollment, and then you apply for scholarship. But have a look at the page. Did you? I don't know if you shared a link to the scholarship page, Luke. But on there it says exactly the criteria that you do need to match. But the Swedish Institute one, and I think it's about 40 different countries that are eligible. I think their deadline is February, so you'll apply for that one before you know if you've been admitted or not. So slightly different, and that scholarship it's very good. Ours is good. This is very good.
Mhm. So there it is.
That's the Swedish Institute, and
That's from the
ours.
Swedish Institute.
Yeah, and to how to apply for ours, and I will send Luke the link so that Luke can share the link with you. Let's see. There we go. And you can have a look.
Perfect. So I'll share that as well. Right
And
now.
yeah, we also have a really good short video of how to apply. Luke, maybe you can share this link as well. It's basically how to apply in very kind of clear steps and what you need to do.
Okay, will do.
Thanks.
And there's the how to apply will come on as well. So checking in the meantime if there are any further questions. Yes, there's a question. I'll drop the link to how to apply. Claudia asked, are there a specific number of seats available for the program? How is that chosen? So how does that work?
Yeah, so we currently planned for 20 seats, but if there are more students interested in the program, we can accept more students. So there is no limit in that sense.
Good to hear. So make sure you meet the requirements, and make sure that you have proof of English, because that's sometimes, unfortunately, what delays students and what prevents them from having a successful application is that you need to prove your English, and most people, unless you've studied in an English-speaking country, but most people do that through a test, and you have to book an appointment to take the test, and sometimes there can be quite a wait. So don't put that off. Do that as soon as possible, because that information, that document, needs to be in by 1st of February. Otherwise, the application will be late, considered late.
Thank you very much, Therese, for pointing that out. We did get another question in from Kayode. Can you present a master's degree that meet up with the admission criteria? And he says, having basic credits in social sciences and research, if your first degree does not adequately meet up with the criteria.
If I understand the question correctly, is that if the person does not have the credit points from these two courses, can they enroll in the program?
I think the question is, if they don't have the credit points from their bachelor, can they instead show evidence of those courses in a master's degree?
Oh yes, that's totally possible. It's important that these credits exist, and if it was bachelor or master, that's totally fine.
Good.
Thanks.
We're getting thumbs up, so I assume that is answering the question. Good to hear. Otherwise, let us know. We still have a couple of minutes left. Before you leave, I just want to like to point out as well, as you have been seeing, and most of you have already started to fill out, we do have a couple of brief questions for you in the polling section. So there's a poll open at the right top, and there's 3 questions. Basically, like to know from you if you are interested to apply for when, or if not, and why. It maybe is a reason you were not yet ready or anything else. And if you found the session useful, that's of course important for us as well. So do let us know, please, for all of you who are watching the webinar live or recorded. Thanks for joining in and giving us the feedback. And with that, unless a question still comes in, we can still take it. We slowly round off the session. And I think then I will drop some couple of the last links to you, and over to Therese. Last words.
I just want to say thank you for having joined us, and I hope you found this session useful and informative. I have. Don't forget, I keep mentioning these, but have a look at the links that Luke is putting up, because the program overview, it's important that you actually have a look and make sure that you do know and you're sure of what you're applying for. Apply on time, especially if you're interested in a scholarship. Have a look at our social media, so Instagram, the podcasts, the blog. You can also ask questions and ask questions. Make sure you're comfortable. So don't worry about, oh, I'm asking another question. Just do it, so that we want you to be happy and content with your choice. So I think that's all I wanted to say. Indra, do you want to add anything before we go?
Yes, I also just wanted to thank everyone for joining us, and I hope it was useful information. Please really do not hesitate to get in touch with us, and we will answer all the remaining questions you have. We'll try to assist you in this process of applications and getting admitted to the program and so on. I'm really looking forward to start in autumn 22 and to meet the new students.
Great. I think that's the best, that you do, that your enthusiasm is going to be, it's going to be provide lots of inspiration for the students.
Yeah.
So I think that bodes well.
I see that Claudia was writing another
did she?
question.
Yes, indeed. We just got another question in, so I'd like to take that, of course, still. Claudia, no pun intended, but I hope there's no age limit for the prospective students.
No, absolutely not. And as I said, we are also hoping to get students who already have working experience, because maybe they would need some extra knowledge and basic research, or to enrich their knowledge in aging policies and so on. So there could be people working already on the market for some years, and they are also very welcome to join this education. Or you can be freshly graduated from the bachelor's program and wanting to enroll in master's education. So people of different ages are welcome.
Great. Perfect. Well, that rounds off the session. Thanks everyone for joining. Of course, especially the audience who joined in from different countries in the world. Great to see you, and we hope to see some of you in Linkoping next year. And of course, Indra and Therese, thanks a lot for your key information that we received and your time. Thank you.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.